Hey, beautiful human. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about bundling and unbundling assets. And I'm going to show you a very simple framework so you can increase the lifetime value of your products and services. So if you are in the coaching and consulting world, people have seen your offer. In this video, my aim is to show you how you can repackage that a little bit, get the assets that you have, rename them, and actually make more money without having to create new products. And I got inspired because we are just at this little pretty cool place over here. If you want to have a look, the views are incredible. Let me show you here. Feels like we're in the middle of nowhere, but I thought I'd shoot a little video here with my little Osmo about bundling and unbundling. But yeah, so if you are doing what you're doing and you're serving clients already, you must have assets, right? So if we sort of look at the assets that we have in our Google Drive, for me, mostly I create little templates or Loom videos or Google Docs for clients to help them sort of achieve something. Usually they go out, they're sold as one thing, and then you put them back in the vault, right? And I spent a whole bunch of time last year doing that and creating multiple different assets over time. So I would host a workshop and then I would put it back in the vault, and that was it. And when it was Black Friday, I realized there was so much more that I could do with what I already had. So I created this little drawing here for you because we're out in the wild. I've got no computer, no nothing. So hopefully it will make sense. There's different shapes here, and this in itself is an offer, right? It's got a diamond, a rectangle, a circle, and a triangle. And let's call that our group coaching container, for example. And then inside of that, we can take the diamond and the square and create another offer, right? We can also take the circle and the triangle and create another offer. We can sell the triangle on its own. We can sell the rectangle and the circle. We can also sell the diamond, the circle, and the triangle, and so on and so forth. All you are doing is creating different wrappers around the products you already have. And that is the difference between an offer and a product, right? The products remain the same, the wrappers are different, and then you can increase the lifetime value of that. So I wanted to tell you a little story of how I bundled a set of products last Black Friday and increased my revenue by something like 15x. The previous year, I did something like 4K, if I remember correctly. And I thought, the more emails I send, I'm not going to count on subscribers. I'm not going to care about that. What I will care about is how many emails I'm going to send, and I'm going to make more money. And I made that number, and I was like, amazing, whatever. And it was like something specific to Black Friday. This year just gone, what I did was I took 3 of my best-selling workshops that I had. In there, it was something like my email campaigns, my DM scripts, and my Google Docs that I'm known for. And then I bundled them into something I called the $1 Million Pack. Now, those were things I had already done and sold separately, right? So if we remember our shapes here, they were already in the vault. And then I just took the 3 best ones and I named them something. And I always, change the name in a way. So if I sold them individually and it was like email campaigns, Google Docs, and DM scripts, this $1 Million Pack seems or sounds like a magic bullet or some sort of painkiller, right? So even though people may have heard of the other products, it was the first time it was being heard as a bundle of 3. Right? And let's say in this case, each individual workshop was sold at $100 a pop. Instead of doing all 3 at $300, which I could have done, I did all 3 at $150, right? And then on Cyber Monday, I was like, the price is going to rise. So what did I just do here? I unbundled all of them. So those were 3 individual workshops. I bundled them into one workshop. And then at the end of that, I added a price. And then I changed the variable of price, and it technically, even though it's exactly the same offer, the price goes up. That becomes a different offer on Monday. So just to share that, as I'm talking, I've got the baby's food here. So there's milk and there's water, which pretty much I could have used that instead of showing the the shapes in the book, but it's the same thing, right? Like two secluded offers on their own standalone, and then this is a bundle of offers. So what I'm telling you here is from the assets you already have, you can piece those together, right? Now, here's another trick that I had in my books, and I realized because the Christmas gone before that, I had sold all of my workshops, right? So each individual wanted 100, and it sold. It was cool. It was sort of like a Christmas bazaar thing. And then a few days in, I was like getting questions of people asking, "Can I just buy all of them?" And I was like, "Oh, people would pay more money to buy a bigger thing." So on day 3 or 4, I was like, you can grab all of them for 1,000. So instead of 1,500, if it was each individual one. And actually from day 3 onwards, I made so many more sales by giving somebody something that was 5 to 10 times more expensive than I thought they would buy, by again, this time bundling a different offer, right? So there's 2 examples for you where I bundled once-off assets and created a new offer that was entirely different. Now, I'm going to go the other way and talk to you about unbundling instead of bundling. So I have my coaching program. So in our little doodle, that is the whole thing. To create that, I have individual assets like this triangle over here, right? Like, or whatever it is. Now, in that container with all these beautiful shapes that we have, I used to sell Modern Maker for 12 months at a set fee. And, you know, as market sophistication goes, there is a certain amount of people that will buy that offer. And then sales sort of started dipping a little bit. You know, I was like, maybe I need to grow my audience, or I need to bundle and unbundle. And I, you know, can safely say that I have more fun working with a smaller audience and creating repeat buyers. So I just went, I'll take the same container, right, with all of these assets, and the only thing I'm going to change is the interval of time. So if I was selling my coaching for 12 months, can I create a 16-week sprint? And obviously the outcome that I was promising has to change, but this time I'm like, I'm going to change the variable, and I'm going to be really realistic about what we can achieve in 16 weeks. No crazy promises, nothing like fancy like that. I've seen some wacky offers where people are like, oh, well, we're going to make 20K in like 16 weeks. We're going to make $1 million or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. None of my business what people say. But what I did was I just changed same assets, 16 weeks. All of a sudden, people that were on my email list consuming for years, some of them said, they were like, that was more beneficial for me. So I changed the time interval and obviously the price, right? They didn't have to pay for the year. And all I did was I said, after those 16 weeks, you can then pay weekly and cancel anytime. And some people stayed after that, you know, and it was fine. Others just cut it off at 16 weeks. So same container, different offer because I changed the time interval. So now I'm unbundling backwards. Or I used to get a lot of questions because I simply love email and offers. People were like, Jacob, can I work with you privately to only do the email copywriting part or the funnel installation part of your program? So with me, usually we create an offer, then we build the funnel, and then we write content organically or run ads. So there's 3 components, let's say, in that offer. I had 4 shapes here because the 4th one is how we actually scale and we iterate, etc. So I went, okay, if I just take that one element here and unbundle it, I created a copy coaching container. So you only get the email copywriting. I'll review it for you. I'll do this and that, and obviously change the price. But all of a sudden, other people who only wanted the email copywriting part of it were popping out of nowhere, and then I just had another offer. Again, the assets didn't change. I just simply gave them less and then offered my time where we met once a week. So In that case, I then unbundled that part of the offer. Then I had other people come to me and they're like, can we create my low ticket offer? I've already got a high ticket. I've been selling, mindset coaching or business coaching or whatever it is, web design, whatever. I just need a funnel because I'm having a baby, or, I want more free time, or whatever that may be. And I just went, brilliant. So what I'm going to do is, in this case, we will take the offer and we will take the email funnel. I already have these 4 components. I'm going to give these to you again. So hopefully this demonstration has shown you how we can take separate offers, bundle them together, or containers and unbundle them, and shed some light on what you can do. So it's not rocket science. It just takes a little bit of engineering the offer components, and you'll be able to actually extract the lifetime value of people. Now, why I say this to you, I think for me, the biggest realization was there's 2 types of buyers. Obviously, transformational buyers and information buyers. Now, because I always have a vault, and on my email list on a weekly basis, I rotate between low ticket and high ticket, I just thought there's just people who will never buy coaching and people who will always buy info and vice versa. But I was like, there's one side of it where I'm giving them info, right? If I didn't present that to somebody, they may have not spent $100. And then I present the next thing, so now they've spent $200. I don't have to necessarily give them coaching or a transformational thing. I can bundle and unbundle different info products and meet them with those and increase the lifetime value. I've got someone on my list who's paid me $8,000 in total of just digital products. They simply don't want to be coached, but they'll buy everything that I've released over the last 3-4 years. And I know because simply I send the testimonial, sorry, not testimonial, I send them a thank you note every time something is bought. But I wouldn't have that relationship with that person had I not learned to bundle and unbundle assets. So my challenge to you is to look on your Google Drive or look in your, the services that you provide, and ask yourself, what can I bundle this Black Friday, for example, or this Christmas, or it doesn't matter. There doesn't have to be a reason for you to do that. But what can I do from there to actually increase the lifetime value of what I already have? So I want to leave you with that today. If that struck a chord, leave a comment down below with any questions. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.